Okay, we are live. Good evening, everyone. It's Jennifer Allen. I am your host today for Midweek Matrimony. I'm the owner of Just Elope LLC, and I am here with a very, very special guest today, Mark and Jade Hughes. And let me tell you why they're so special. Because we had the pleasure of marrying the two of them this year in the middle of a pandemic. Although it was not their original plans, we'll hear more about that later, but it was a great experience, and I'm so happy to have them here with us today.
Thank you for
Welcome, Mark
having us.
and Jade. Yes, yes. So introduce yourselves, tell us what you do, who you are, and we'll get going.
Okay, I'm Jade Hughes. Lucky to have this man as my husband. We're the owners of three businesses. So we own Premier Tax Consultants, Premier Credit Rehab, and Premier 7 Logistics, which is our trucking company. And together, combined, we're a blended family. We have 7 kids.
7
Seven.
children.
Seven.
That is a blend.
Yes, we are really the Black Brady Bunch, like for real, for real.
I only came with two.
No.
Okay, I probably came with a little bit more. All right. My name is Mark Hughes. I am a Texas native, born and raised here in Texas. I've been in the Metroplex since I was 11 years old, so Dallas-Fort Worth is my home. Like you said, we are a couple that owns a couple of businesses, recently married.
Yep.
Thank you
Yes.
for providing us
Coming through in the clutch.
Man, came through big time for us, so I appreciate it.
Well, good. Well, I'm so happy to have y'all here. And I want to really y'all are a very interesting couple. I love to listen to you on Facebook anyway. Mark, you give Jade the hardest time. And I think it's so cute though. And it's all done out of love. And that's one thing I would definitely say, like, you have to keep that friendship piece going and not take yourself too seriously, because social media definitely has people thinking that everything has to be buttoned up and pressed all the time. And that is not the case at all. So tell us how the two of you met.
I'll let you tell the story. You're more animated.
Okay.
The true story.
Y'all want my truth is always the truth. So it was a long, gloomy day.
Anyway. We only got 30 minutes. So we met at Tax Nation.
Mhm.
He was already there, and I come to be a new tax preparer for the year, and I actually thought he was his brother because they look alike.
They do.
So he was trying to like joke with me at first, but I was just having a bad day, and I was like, whatever. And then his brother Corey walked in. I'm like, oh, so who is that? And so my sister's like, oh, that's his brother. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, I doubt you were saying that.
I was. And then next thing you know, I ended up working at a different office, and the manager at that office was like, I got somebody who wants to talk to you. And I was like, okay, I hope it's not who I think it is, because I don't want to talk to this person. And he was like, no, it's not that person. And he tells me, I'm like,
sorry to that man.
yeah, right. And I was just like, I'm not interested. And so, we talked on the phone, and, just here we are.
Nah, it ain't no just here we are. It just didn't happen like that.
It did just happen like that.
It was her first year doing taxes. I had been doing taxes for quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
And she was using my expertise and knowledge to get close to me.
No.
Hey, so what is a 1040? How do you do this? How you do?
Okay, let's put it into that. Okay, because he loves to tell his exaggerated version of the story. I was working in a different location, and he would be like, why don't you just come over here? They ain't teaching you nothing. Nah, that's not right. Nah, that's not right. Nah, you're not supposed to do that. And just come over here. I'm going to show you. Just come over here. I'm going to show you. And then I ended up switching offices.
Was it love at first sight?
So this is what I can tell you, is that when I walked in, when I noticed her, she had, I remember it to the T. She had her hair braided up, just looking just as natural as can be. You know what I mean? And
you see how I said that, natural?
Yeah, I mean.
So it was one of them days, you just put them 2 braids in.
Oh, listen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Look similar to like this right here.
Yeah,
but it's my natural hair. And
right.
I was looking busted and disgusted. I was
to her. But her busted and disgusted, it caught my eye because I saw the natural beauty in it. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, man, my goodness, let me put on my shiny knight armor. You know what I'm saying? Look, you know what I'm saying? And so, you know, I approached her, you know what I'm saying? Made a couple of jokes just to get the feel. Because if I can make you laugh, lo and behold, I got you.
Here we are.
And here we are. So how long from when you met to when you got engaged?
4 years.
4 years. Okay. And how was the proposal? I know how the proposal was, but we want to make sure that everyone.
There was the bomb, like best thing I could have ever thought of. So because this is both our second marriage, I was not in a rush to get married again, and he was very adamant on, we're not living right, we need to get married. And I was like, you know, it's fine. I was pregnant with our last baby, and I just didn't want to like rush it or feel like we should get married because we have these babies. I mean, I knew we were going to, but I didn't want that to be the reason. And so I'm a big basketball fan. We had season tickets to the Mavs before the world shut down. And he tells me in January, oh, we're going to go to the basketball game. So I'm like, cool, great. I'm excited. This date night, we get to get out the house. We going to the game. Cool. All that day, my sister and my mom were like, well, go get your nails done and stuff. You know, y'all don't get to go out much. So I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Went and got me an outfit. He comes home. He's like, no, I got you a Mavs jersey. You got to put on a jersey. And I was like, I don't want to wear the jersey. Do I have to wear it? He's like, yeah, just, you know, it's everybody's supposed to wear the jersey today. You know, let's just be a part of it, whatever. So I'm like, I don't have no shoes to go with this jersey. Like, no. Wore the jersey. Okay. So the whole time I'm enjoying the game. He's enjoying the game. Mark's very friendly. He talks to everybody. He stops and talks to everybody. Not thinking nothing of it. Only weird thing, and I didn't think about it until afterward, was we went to a bar like during halftime, and I'm like, I'm pregnant. Why are we at the bar? Then we go outside to where the smokers and stuff are, and it was in February, so it's cold. It's the day before Valentine's Day. So I'm like, why are we standing outside? Like, what is going on? Anyway, we go back, and they're doing the kiss cam, so we're just watching kiss cam, whatever. We get on the kiss cam, give him a kiss, turn back around on the big screen, and it says, will you marry me? And I'm just like, what? And then I turn to him, and he's down on one knee with the ring that I asked for, that I've been asking for, that he said, I don't like that ring, but he got the ring. And then his brother was there, his sister-in-law, my sister, my niece, my parents were there. And he's like, you didn't think it was weird? Like, we were just walking around, and I'm looking around because I didn't want you to see them or anything. And I'm like, no one said anything. I wasn't even, if I would have seen, I wouldn't have thought anything. I wouldn't have been looking for them.
Right.
He definitely did a good job with that one.
Mark.
You know, I had to go pull something out of my repertoire that I've seen a time or two. You know, I wanted to do something special. And I wanted it to be something that she will always remember. So
yeah, definitely. Well, that is definitely a memorable proposal. You mentioned that this is both of your second marriages. So my question to you is that what made, after being married for however long you were in the past, what made this love so different that you said, you know what, I can see myself being married again?
Well, what I can say is that, you know, coming out of a marriage and going through a divorce, that's a very traumatic experience, you know, and it was something that will make you question, dang, do I really want to go through that again? You know, but I would say with Jade, I found the more we dated, the more we hung around each other, she became not only my girlfriend, she became my best friend.
Right.
And so, like, a lot of the things that I enjoyed, Jade enjoyed, you know, she matched my personality. And most importantly, what I couldn't stand at first, but what I find out I needed the most, is that Jade, she held me accountable. She held me accountable, and not in a mean, rude way. She held me accountable to better myself. And, you know, just looking at her and having her do that right there, I knew that this was the partner I needed in my life.
Okay. What about you, Jay?
For me, I think Mark is totally different from anybody I'd ever dated, even my ex. And you think that you know what you want in a spouse. All in all, you don't really know what it is that you want. It's you get what you need. You know what I mean? And Mark was everything I needed. So I thought, I would always say, like, I want somebody like my dad. My dad's my number one love. And so I always thought that's what I was looking for. But it wasn't the right qualities. It wasn't what I needed. And so with Mark, he loud, he's crazy, but he loves hard. He loves his kids. He loves his family. Like, I knew that as much as I didn't want to admit it, he is like the yin to my yang. Like, we go together. So I knew, like, once I figured that, I was like, this is what we needed. Because when you're blending families, you don't know. You be like, I don't know if you want to, woo. But I knew that I couldn't see myself without him.
Say it again. I say that one more time.
What is the hardest part about being a blended family? And how do y'all make that?
I say the hardest part to me about being blending a family is trying to be inclusive, be all inclusive to everyone. And though you say I'm gonna treat everybody the same, you always have a special place in your heart for your own. And so you have to train you have to constantly self-critique yourself before she does it, because if she do it, it may be a problem, it may be an argument. So you have to sit back and self-evaluate yourself to say, man, hold on, man, what I have done my child like that. And I think that's the most difficult part about being a blended family to me is the kids, them being conniving. My kids are ask Jay some shit, say no, then they come to me. It's just trying to be on the same page and understand that we're a team.
Right.
The united front, that is the hardest thing initially, because you're defensive. So it's like, if I said something to one of his kids, why you gotta say it to her like that? And I'm like, I would say it to her like that with mine.
Right.
And then the same thing with me, and then trying not to have that conversation like right
in front of them.
Exactly. Because once they see there's some type of division, then it's like, oh, I know how to poke the nerve. Whatever, because all children are kind of like that. So I think that, but I think what makes it work is we have the conversation, we go to therapy so we can actually have a non-biased person and, help us figure out, our issues or whatever. And then kind of like seeking wise counsel. My family growing up is blended, but it never felt like that. And so I know when I talk to my mom about a lot of stuff, she's just like, well, telling me kind of what they went through, my parents went through, because they were both married previously too. So I'm like, oh, okay. So just seeking wise counsel and making sure that we're communicating, even if it's not right at that moment, if it's a little later, like, hey, maybe we could have said this differently or done this differently.
And to piggyback off that, I would say something that's difficult too is the other parents. The other parents. And not so much as they're causing so much drama in our household. It's because I'm so protective. I want to make sure that she's not being taken advantage of. And I had to learn, Mark, you have to step back and let her handle the situation. If she needs assistance, she will come to me. And that took time, because I would sit back and be like, oh, no, we're not doing that. No. And she's a peacemaker, and because she want to be as peaceful as possible, that would cause an argument between us, because now I need you to be aggressive and say this and this, and I have to pull back, like, you know what, let her handle it. If she needs help, she'll come to me.
Right.
Yeah.
And even even with your own kids, you say you don't make a difference, but each child has to be treated individually. And so with our youngest son, you can look at him hard and he just, oh, I'm sorry, that oldest one, listen, he hard as nails. It don't matter what it is. Like it just, so you have to really, even with your own kids, your own biological children, you have to handle each one differently. So I can only imagine being in a situation where you have not been with this child every single day, so you don't know the ins and outs, and you're still trying to figure them out. What are the ages of all kids? Run them down.
Okay, it's 20, 18, 12, 11, 9, 3, and 2. So we're like every stage of childhood.
Every stage.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
She just didn't know when to stop. She just didn't know when to stop.
Let's back this up. He came with 4. I came with 1. Okay, I had 1. He had both. So somebody didn't know who how to stop. It was you.
Oh my goodness. Every single, y'all are going to be, well, not hopefully anytime soon, but you know, y'all are going to make, y'all weddings are going to be coming up, and
I'm just trying to get through college.
Yeah, I mean, it's just going to be nonstop, and then you're going to have a second grader.
Yes.
We were just talking about that. We were saying by the time the first 5 are out the house, our youngest ones will be literally like 8 and 7.
Our oldest is 8. So we have an 8-year-old, a 6-year-old, and then I'm basically 9 months pregnant. And so it's like they're gonna be gone back to back, boom, boom, and then here is this other child.
Yep.
And you just in here.
Yep. Yep.
And it's
basically.
like, ugh.
But positive. I gotta look at the positives. The 20-year-old will be old enough to be like, go to your sister's house.
Correct.
Go to your brother's house. Come
Right.
get your sister and brother. Like, you know, I'm looking towards the positive with that one, you know.
Yeah.
And we're practicing now.
Yeah.
We have my daughter, she's here. She'll be like, oh, why are you here? We're gonna go out on a date night.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Since you at the house.
Since you here.
So what do you guys do, speaking of date nights, to keep your romance and love alive?
We actually talked about this in our podcast.
Yeah.
So we have a nanny that comes twice a week.
Mm-hmm.
And so during the day when the kids are at school, we are supposed to be working, but we go out and do stuff. So we'll be like, go furniture shopping. Like, we just go and kind of like hang out. So those are like our date days. So that way we're not just solely restricted to like date nights, and like we do have all the kids at home. So that way we're like active doing family stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we play games. Scrabble is our favorite game. He used to hate it, but now since he's gotten better and he can beat me, he likes playing Scrabble.
So now you just fail.
You feel me? You feel right? It was something I didn't want to do at first.
He makes a lot of words, so I don't know. We play games, we watch movies. That's been our new thing, trying to enjoy our theater room. And just playing games. We have like somebody gave me like a kinky truth or dare. So like that's something fun we do. And then we have like sticks, so we can draw sticks for like date night.
And I would say we have that uncomfortable conversation sometimes too. Baby, what area am I lacking in? You know, and
I hate that conversation. I really do.
But it's needed, because if I'm not catering to a certain aspect that she needs, I need to know that. You know, I want to fill that void, and so we definitely had those conversations periodically, and you know, we have them, hash it out, and shoot, improve on it, moving forward.
Yeah.
And I always encourage couples to have those conversations when things are going great, because it's better received. If you speak on something that's bothering you when you're upset, the other person's going to feel like, okay, are you saying this because that's really how you feel? Or are you saying this because you are mad? And so it's like, yes, most people do feel like, well, dang, why would you want to bring the mood down by talking about this right now? But it's so important to talk about it right then when things are good, so that you know that, okay, obviously you really do mean, you know, the things that you say, like, okay, I need more affection from you, or maybe every time I walk past you, I don't need you to grope me down all the time. maybe I need a little less of that.
Right. So, but you know, it's important, like the love language thing.
Yes.
Is very, very important. And I don't think a lot of people really play into it. I think people think it's just something that's kind of made up, but it's really not. His love language is physical touch and quality time. So the walking past groping, I'll be like, bruh, come on now. But that is how he like perceives love. Like, that's his thing. So if it's me sitting there watching football, which I don't like, that's what caters to him. To where mine are words of affirmation and acts of service. totally different.
Right.
He cleans the house. It's a great thing for me. You know what I mean? Compliments me on what being a good mom and all that stuff. I enjoy that. And I have to remember that because I am words of affirmation, I can't affirm him like that because that doesn't mean the same thing to him. I have to come and lay up under him or touch him. You know what I mean? It's so important that you guys that couples take the test and figure that out and learn that just because I have to be loved one way, I can't display that love or show that love to him because that's not how he perceives love. And that's so important.
And I think one of the when we had one of those conversations, I always thought words of affirmation was, baby, you're beautiful. You know, you're looking good today. Oh, girl, you're sexy. And you know, that's how I visualized it. It wasn't until we had a conversation one day and she was like, you know, I sit home and I clean up this whole house, and sometimes you walk in and don't mention it. You know, and I was like, that took me back. I was like, wow, I never thought about it like that. You know what I'm saying? And so,
yeah, it bothers my soul. I mean, clean this whole house.
Yeah, it has to go beyond the surface. You know, it's like it has to be digging deeper. But I definitely feel like I am married. We are married to the same man in the sense of the physical touch and the quality time, because I'm like, you have seen this butt all day. It has all day. It's the same one yesterday.
Yeah, we need more and more bit sights of it. She'll walk by one time, be like, babe, come here, turn around. Now walk one more time. Just one more time.
And I'm just sitting there like, did you not see it? Yes,
the first time. I don't want to turn around.
I don't want to turn around. But you are absolutely right. It's so important to love people the way that they want to be loved, because if not, they are going to feel like they are lacking. And so you have to receive it, but you also have to be comfortable setting your own boundaries for things that you are comfortable with. And I think that sometimes people confuse being married with you have to do every single thing that your spouse wants you to do in order for you to be happy. It is so important to still be your individual self. And that is my next question for you all. How do you maintain your individuality while being married?
Fantastic question. We actually kind of talked about that because I've kind of been going through it. So, you know, having the babies back to back and then going from 1 kid to 7 in like a few years has been a lot. And so for me, it was harder for me to go out and like figure out who I am all over again. So to where my daughter was 9 when I had my son. So it's like, I knew who I was then. At that point, I really didn't even want to have any more kids. And now I'm a totally different person. What is it that I like to do? Who am I? So now for me, that's going to brunch with my mom or going to do something that's just for me. And he's never been like, well, you can't go do it. We're so used to being around each other all the time. We work together. We're like all the time. And it's not that it's a problem. Like, that's one thing we talked about. Like, we actually really enjoy being around each other. But it has to be like, somebody invited me out and I'm going to go. And I'm going to go by myself. Or somebody invites you out. Or I'll be telling his friends, he want to go golf too. Just take him to go golf too.
He got some clubs.
He got these 2 sets of clubs. He needs to go. And so it's definitely difficult for me anyway. Because Mark says he don't even like to go nowhere or whatever. For me, it's difficult, but I know that it's necessary because I have to get out of the house talking to children all day or talking about business. Sometimes I just want to go shopping or look around or anything. So that's just what I do.
Yeah, and I think I assist her with that sometimes. I'll be like, baby, you need to, you know, go out and have some fun. And I tell her because I know it's easier for guys. Like we can get up and leave anytime, but for a woman, you know what I'm saying, you're here, you're cleaning up, you're doing all kind of stuff to keep the house in order. Sometimes you lose yourself, you know.
Right.
And that's something I told her I didn't want her to do is to lose yourself. I still want you to maintain your same identity. I think it's difficult sometimes because we have so much fun together.
Yeah.
Like anytime I leave the house, I'll be like, baby, you want to go with me? Come with me to something? No, come with me. Just come with me. Please come with me.
Like everywhere. You want to go to the store? No. You want to go get something to eat? Okay, I always go for that.
Okay, I I can do the food. No, I definitely understand that because my husband and I, we spend a lot of time together as well, especially with the pandemic. So many people have said like, oh my gosh, how unhappy they are. Like, oh, I'm stuck in the house with this person. And I'm just like, this has been cool. Like
Right.
this has been great, you know, to have that time. But he is more so the one that says, you know, you used to like to hang out and do stuff. And I'm just like, I'm just not in the mood. Like I don't want to go. You know, because as a man, truly, you could just get up, put your clothes on. As a woman, you like, I gotta find something to put on. My hair not done. My nail broke yesterday. I'm just- my
Look,
toes
and
not
then
done.
like, right, and then I have friends like one of my best friends. She has no kids or anything, so I'm like, she's gonna be all cute and life all. You know, I'm living my life through her. I don't want to go today. I don't think I want to go today. But he be like,
It's
"No, you gonna go."
so yes, and it's so important, and it's great to have a spouse that encourages that. Because no matter what, if you're in something for the long haul, the only way that you're going to be able to keep that up is balance and being together all the time. You're going to have to find some sort of balance in all of those things. So that is really great. My last question for y'all, well, second to last, is what advice do you have for singles who have not found the one yet?
Well, I would give them the same advice that I give my son. And is there's no rush. You know what I'm saying? There's no rush. A lot of times, things that you liked in your teens, your 20s, or something, are things that you don't even want to entertain when you're 30. You know, so you have to realize that you know, my daddy used to tell me,
Lord.
don't get on the highway, never get on the highway without your spare tire. You know what I'm saying? And so keep your options open until you're sure. Keep your options open until you're sure. And how do you know you're sure, man? Is that when I'm away from Jada, I used to tell her all the time, like, dang, man, I can tell I'm away from you because my heart beating a little different. You know what I'm saying? My heart beating a little different. But yeah, I would say, man, just take your time, don't rush it, and make sure that the person that you want to settle down with is the person you can see as your life partner.
Right.
Before you answer, Jay, someone, Carrie commented and said, "Oh my God, I love the sign. It says real shit correct." Tell them about, we're going to come back to that, Carrie, and they're going to explain what that stands for because it does have a meaning. So we're going to talk about what that stands for. But Jay, go ahead and give your answer.
I think what I tell any of my friends or anybody that I talk to that's single, my little sister, like Mark said, there's no rush. Take your time, date, you know what I mean? So that way you know what you like and what you don't like. And know that God has a plan regardless of what your plan is. So
Right.
every woman's plan is, I'm gonna be married and this, and this. God might not have that plan for you right then. So don't look at a relationship that didn't turn out the way you want to, or the person that you're interested not being interested. Don't let that deter you from the end goal of, marriage and having your soulmate or whatever, because God hasn't placed them in your life yet. And that's so important because I thought it was, you know what I mean? But then I had to sit back and realize like what marriage means. You need to make sure that you're good while you're looking for a relationship. Like make sure you know who you are, what your boundaries are, what you're looking for. Date with intention. You know what I mean? Like if you're dating a guy and he's not showing any type of interest in like serious dating, leave that person alone. Like don't waste your time with that. Date intentionally. Date if you're like, I want to date to marry, do that and be okay with that. And people will fall off if they, okay, no, that's not what I want. Well, cool. Then that's not what this is going to be. And that's okay to have those boundaries. You have ample time, and there are plenty of fish in the sea. Don't worry about such and such getting married or having a baby and all that stuff. Your time will come when it's supposed to.
And make sure you asking those questions that you really want to know up front, and so you're not 6-8 months into the relationship and then realize that, dang, this person don't have ambition to do anything better in life, or make sure they line up with your values, your core values.
Absolutely.
And don't put I think that so many of us, myself included for sure, I'm 34. So for so long, everything in my life was by the time I'm 30, I need to have accomplished boom, 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 boom. I need to be a homeowner. I was not. I didn't become a homeowner until I was 34. I need to be running my business full time. That didn't happen until 34. I said I wasn't having any more kids after 30. I'm pregnant. It's like you put these deadlines on things. And I tell people that success feels good no matter what age it is. So
Thanks.
it does not matter. I'm sure it probably would have felt great at 30, but it feels amazing at 34. I'm sure whatever I accomplish at 35, 40, 50, 60 is going to feel great as well. So not putting time limits on things so that you are not settling for something because you feel like you need to hit this goal by this point or you have failed. Because that's not true.
Nope.
Thanks.
Not true at all. Carrie says, I was married at 31st, kid at 31, last kid at 33. No rush. Exactly. And Carrie is y'all. I wish y'all knew Carrie. She's everything. She really is. She is so bomb. But let's answer her question with and that's what we'll wrap up with. Tell us about that sign that you have behind you.
Okay, so we launched our podcast a few weeks ago, and it's called Real Shit. And shit is an acronym. Baby, tell me the acronym for it.
Real shit. Let me tell you, first of all, when we was coming up with the podcast, we kept thinking like, man, what are we going to name and title this podcast? What are we going to, and I promise you, I was just sitting in the bed one day and I was like, I say it all the time, real shit. Like I say real shit all the time, real shit. But I knew I wanted it to have a powerful meaning. So real shit, what shit stands for is substance, humor, intellect, and truth. So real substance, real humor, real intellect, and real truth.
Yep. According to us. And
according to us.
Everyone is always like, we like y'all live, y'all so funny, this and that. So we're just like, let's just take it to another platform and just get all specific topics. But I mean, like, we literally do the same thing. Like when we jump on live, it's never oh my gosh, let's talk about this, and this. It's literally like, so let me tell you what just happened. And Mark said, and so we just were like, let's just go ahead and put this in a different space and see how that works out. And so real shit. At first, I didn't care for the name. I was like, I don't know. People are going to be like, but that's just like who we are. Like when you listen to the podcast, it's like, that's exactly how they act on live.
Yeah. So are y'all doing strictly podcasts or are you doing YouTube? And
so our first two were strictly podcasts. And then our last one, we talked about Black polygamy. And that one is actually on YouTube, which is under our Real Shit YouTube channel. And then also on our podcast.
Okay. Yeah. Because I'm learning with everything. I'm like, okay, you can just record it as a YouTube, extract the audio, make it a podcast. Now you repurposing all this content all the way around. So it's like, don't limit yourself. I think that is amazing. Carrie, speaking, going back to the timeline, so she got her master's degree at 40 years old. Exactly. I bet it felt just as good to get that degree. And I love you too, Carrie. And I'm telling you, like, do not put a timeline on there.
Right.
It's been so good. Thank y'all so much for joining me today. I know that anytime you do something in the evening, it is, especially at 7:00 with kids, it's like core family time. I have to give my family a speech every time before I get ready to get on here. Don't you come in here talking to me, making no noise, breathing,
staring at me.
And so my door to my office is glass pane.
Yeah.
So you can see straight in. And so my husband, who is a giant, he literally is just standing at the door sometimes. He's like, and I'm just thinking to myself, you're mouthing saying something to me like I can answer you. Like you clearly see I'm on this video and your children are below you and all y'all just looking at me and I'm just thinking to myself, Wait till I get off of this video.
Right.
Well, watch this. When you go back and watch this video, you go see I gave one of my kids this look like,
I definitely saw it. My mama eyes definitely picked it up, but you can just keep on going with it because they know what's up.
Right.
So that is the real shit that people deal with as parents. It's life does not stop just because we are in the middle of doing something. These kids still need us just the same, and that's just what it is. So thank y'all so much for joining me. Tell everybody your social media tags, and so that they can follow you.
Absolutely. So Facebook, Jade Hughes, Mark Hughes, Premier Tax Consultants, Premier Credit Rehab,
Hughes Encounters,
that's our family page on Facebook. Instagram at I am Jade Hughes, and he is at DeRealist2. Yes.
DeRealist2.
Y'all find me, and then y'all work on it.
And then y'all can find him.
Yeah. For those that's on here and those that's watching, and if y'all haven't tuned into our podcast, man, if y'all haven't seen any of our lives, real shit, when I say tune in, you're gonna get it's enjoyment behind it. You're gonna get some. We open ourselves up to the world to see what we do our family. So you gonna get the naked truth.
Unrated. I think we've been really good today.
Yeah, no, y'all are so entertaining and so transparent, and I think that's what really attracts people, because that's how we try to live our life. Like I don't have time to put a bow on it all the time. Like sometimes you just need to you need to just get the gift that I'm trying to give you right now.
Look, bathrobe and all, huh?
Listen, because I'm gonna put that robe on.
Right. It's real shit. And then the YouTube is real shit. The YouTube channel, real shit.
Real shit. Hey, y'all go like our page, subscribe to it, hit that bell. So whenever we put something out, you'll be the first to see it.
Perfect. Well, this will be live and stay on our Facebook page. It'll be on our YouTube channel as well. And to everybody we have a great following on our email list. So this will go out to our subscribers tomorrow with all your handles on it for them to be able to follow you. So thank y'all so much. Y'all have a great night.
You too.
You are so welcome. And I look forward to continuing to watch your family blossom because I think what y'all are doing is great.
Jennifer, thank you so much.
Again, I can't thank you enough for coming in, doing an amazing wedding for us, man. That right there was awesome. I'm forever grateful and indebted to you.
And keeping our people on schedule, because
listen,
they back. She's like, y'all gotta move.
I tell people all the time, I cannot tell you what time. If you start your wedding late, that's fine, but I'm gonna tell you when it's gonna end. So
when it's gonna end.
We're gonna have to make sure that I want you to get all your money's worth, every dime worth. So, but thank you for doing that. So y'all,
thank you, Jennifer.
You are welcome. So good night, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to Midweek Matrimony. This is the last one for a couple of weeks because I'm officially putting myself on maternity leave after today. So I am taking a break, but to get ready for this last baby. So tune in to this episode and all of our other ones, and we're going to come back and we're going to keep this going. So everybody have a great night, and we'll see you next time.